My name's Rex Roberts. I'm with the VJ Academy, and today we're going to be covering masking in Resolume. Now, masking is one of those things that's largely underutilized by VJs, but it really does open up a whole world of other looks. So besides taking a small loop pack and stretching that into a variation of different looks, taking your logo and getting some tailored visuals, or just simply unlocking looks that you can't get any other way besides masking. Now, I'll be honest, whenever I first started learning masking, it took a little bit to click. What I would recommend for you guys is to open up Resolume and follow along as we go through this tutorial. Now, by the end of the video, you will understand the basics of masking. I'll go over some advanced concepts and ways that I like to use it in my own live sets, as well as I'll go over a custom plugin that I created that has over 16 different masking looks that you can drag and drop into your own composition. So let's get into it. Okay, so first off, let's touch on the concept of masking, how it works, and why you would use it. So you can think of it simply as white reveals and black hides. So to use the white parts is to have your clips show through that, and then the black is transparent. This allows you to show just certain sections of the content or even to blend clips together in unique ways. So as you can see over here, I got a black and white clip that could potentially be used as a mask that I do often. Now, if I click the clip underneath it, notice that nothing's coming through. That is because we are on the alpha blend mode. Now, if you wanted to change that, as we've gone over before, just go over here. The 50 mask is the blend mode that's going to be giving you the masking looks with the absolute blacks and whites like we're wanting to showcase here. So if I engage that, now, if I put the mask over here in the preview panel, you'll see that the whites show my image and the black is giving me some transparency. Another way to think about it is the white and the black are kind of like two different channels that you can use in Resolume. One's going to show your graphic, the other one's going to give you transparency, which allows you to blend other clips with it. So let's build a little bit more on that. Let's go ahead and fire two clips off and see how it's interacting with our mask here. So as before, the white is showing the visual that's playing right underneath it, and then it's not showing the second clip that we got going. So let's explore a different way to do masking. Let's put this on alpha, or really whatever blend mode you want to. Now let's right click on the masking layer, go to mask mode, and you got two options here. You got one below, so the mask will mask one layer below it, or it will do all below. So let's try all below, and it still takes both the layers and kind of packages it as one and then interacts with the mask. Let's try the other option. Let's go one below. So again, the mask is showing the white as the layer underneath it, but then it's leaving the black transparent so we can see our secondary image coming through as well. This adds for a really neat way to do masking and is one of my favorite ways to use masks. You'll notice that we have a designated masking layer up here that we keep all of our masks in. And there's a few different reasons that I like to do that. First off, you have all your masks in one spot, so you're not searching around your composition trying to find the right mask. Next, it's easy to grab the masking layer and drag and drop it, and it gives you different blending combinations. So whether you're wanting to drop it in a group or maybe drop it underneath your logo layer just to make sure your logo is not being affected by the mask, there's a lot of different reasons that you'll find to move your masks around. One of the ways to get some really cool masking looks is by using the built-in sources here in Resolume. They have a lot of different things you can choose from, and when you start to think about mixing those with effects, there's really just infinite combinations that you can do. So if you recall, we did a similar thing here in the second tutorial of the beginner course, and we created a generative mask using a source, and you can see it over here. It's just a repeating circle donut shape that continues to loop over and over. Now, again, by using the whites and the blacks, we're able to blend our content in a really cool way here. And if you want a quick reminder of how we did that, we just grabbed a line source, threw that in, and then from that point, we threw a slide effect on it, put the Y on a looping timeline, and then threw a Polder Kaleido effect onto it. Using generative sources and adding in your own effects can really add a lot of spice to some of your content. So for instance, taking that same mask and then throwing a hexagon pixelation on it adds a nice variation. And then of course you got audio reactivity you can always throw in. Now notice over here we do have a colorize as well as a bright contrast. And in this example, I want to show you guys, notice how we have gray tones in this mask. If you want to get rid of those and get closer to like more absolute whites and blacks, this is a cool trick for that. So you can turn on the colorize effect and you're going to turn that on to white. Pick a white color here and then boost up the contrast. That's going to get you a lot closer to whites and blacks, as you can see. And then if you need another little punch on it, the bright contrast can really get you the rest of the way, in my experience. And all that is a bright contrast with the contrast cranked all the way up. As you can tell, it's not perfect on bringing out the absolute whites and blacks, but it does a really good job with it. And this is good to keep in mind if you ever have content or anything you think would make for a potential good mask. This can really drive up those whites and blacks and make it hit even harder. One of the masking techniques that I use a lot in my own live sets is the ability to throw in your own logo as a mask and have the content showing through your logo. This allows for some really neat and custom looks with ease. And again, even if you don't have the exact white and black layout with your logo, you can do that colorize and the bright contrast effects to really dial that in and make it work better as a mask. One question we do get asked often is the difference between auto mask and alpha channel. So let's go ahead and touch on this and make sure we're clear. So let's say that we want to play this clip and we're wanting it to blend with the clip underneath it here. Now, as you can see, the black background is not transparent. So that's a good indicator that this is not a clip with an alpha channel embedded in it. So a good technique here would be to use the auto mask. And this is a stock effect in Resolume that you can grab and drop it on a clip. And you'll notice that we start to get a little bit of transparency that comes through immediately. Now, what you would want to do is go to the clip in the clip panel and go down here to auto mask where the effect is. And then you can mess with the contrast and really dial it in from there. Now, one thing about auto mask is it's not perfect. And you can see that it's blending with black parts of the content that we really didn't intend for it to. And that's a little bit of a downside about auto mask, but let's go over here to this other clip. This clip here does have alpha channel embedded in it. And what that means is it automatically knows which parts of the clip are supposed to be transparent or not. Whereas the auto mask is taking away black parts of the clip, and that can remove some of your content that you did not intend for it to be transparent. Whereas with the alpha channel, it's baked into the clip, therefore it's much cleaner. Also, another heads up is that if you look over here in the clip panel, a lot of times your clips will indicate, it will say with alpha or no alpha. And it's definitely not 100% of the time, but worth checking if you're wondering if the clip has it or not. So those are the basics of masking. And if you feel like you got a good grasp of it from here, in this next section, we'll take it up a notch and I'll get into some more examples of advanced techniques and how you can utilize that in your own workflow. Let's fire off this content here. Notice it's not doing anything yet. So we need to go to mask mode, one below, and then you got the mask interacting with one layer underneath it. And then that is being packaged up with the mask, and then it's being implemented with these other two layers. So that allows us to swap in different layers and get some dramatically different looks depending on how we have the hierarchy. So Another thing that I want to bring to your attention, let me back out of that so that way I got my hierarchy of the layers reset. Let me fire off the next clip. So now we got the mask mode on one below. Let's swap it to all below. And you'll notice the all below mask mode is just like the 50 mask blend mode. This layer that's got an auto mask, it's interacting with the layer underneath it, but we want to get this layer engaged as well. So a cool way that I like to have this set up is let's go to group, do new. So we got the mask in there. Let's drop the foreground as well as the mid. And then we got the background outside of the group. So we got the mask, fore and mid inside, background out. And notice what we got going on now. So this mask is positioned at the top of the group. You got these two layers that are interacting with each other. And then we got the mask that's packaging that up because they're all in the same group. Now it's interacting with the background that's outside of the group. This allows for a whole other combination that wasn't available without masking inside of a group. So real quick, I wanted to touch on something and make sure we're not overcomplicating this. You do not need a group for masking. Most masking can be handled by the mask mode of one below or all below. So whether you're wanting to mask one layer or a layer with a background, that's your go-to. So if it's not clicking just yet, that's totally fine. And honestly, this is a more advanced concept. So stick with it. And the best thing you can do is just go in here and play around with stuff. Go mix the hierarchy of these things up. Go swap out what's in the group, where the mask is in the group, what effects you got going on. And the more you play around with it, you'll start to notice patterns on what looks cool, what you want to keep around. And I'm going to show you guys some more looks that we got with this Masker Aid plugin that I'm dropping. Let's fire up some new content here. And I'll turn off that ASCII plugin that we got. And you can see how the mask is interacting with the content. And we'll keep moving, kind of do a rapid fire here just to show you guys what we're working with. So a lot of my goal with this plugin was to provide a bunch of liquidy, smoky looks. And using almost any of these presets, you can dial in the smoke and get some really cool, kind of noisy, nice blends that do well. Again, another melty look here. So the idea here is I wanted to package up as many different masking looks as I could into one plugin. And this isn't even to mention all the different effects and stuff you can throw on it to really switch things up. Utilizing that black and white, you can really get some cool stuff. And it's nice to be able to control how hard those cuts are or if the black and whites are smooth and feathered in. And then this one here is one of my favorites. It's the smoke rings, adds for some really cool blending techniques. And I found it really useful to throw in a logo as a mask and just test a bunch of different clips with it. And that's masking. So if you were to take one thing from this tutorial, let that be the core rule, and that's white reveals, black hides. Other than that, it's really just feeding a bunch of black and white content into Resolume and letting it blend your visuals. So again, I would encourage you to go experiment. Besides that, I would just give you a reminder that you do have the Masker Aid plugin available to you with over 16 different masking looks now in the VJ Academy. Come inside, check out the community. There's a ton of VJ assets in there waiting on you, as well as exclusive tutorials you just can't find anywhere else. So thanks a lot, and thanks for sticking with this beginner course. This is all building towards a show file at the end, so this masking and groups and effects and all the stuff is going to be implemented into something realistic that you can actually use. So we'll talk soon.